Brothers and sisters, come on in. Come on in. Come on in and hit the like button. It's all good. Come on in. Hit the like button. We're right back. Shalom, we're right back like we never left. So obviously, someone might have a problem with what I'm about to break down right now. But the truth must be told. Folks, it just shut down altogether. I need y'all to check that out. It just shut down altogether. You know what? Let me get some tissue. I'm gonna need to wipe some of the sweat off my brow because we about to get it in up in here. Hit the like button. Woo! Boy, the devil is a liar. I tell you. You know, yeah, I'm gonna do like they used to do up there on, Reverend Poke Chop. I'm about to pad it up. Come on, hit the like button. So going back to where I left off, folks, the rap music was the consciousness for the teenagers of my generation when it came to speaking to injustice. We were all on one code. That's number one. Number two, grassroots. If you weren't from where we were from, you were not let in when it came to this particular genre. And I believe the enemy had a problem with that. Something grassroots that they couldn't control. And then KRS-One came out and said what? Shem was a black man. Abraham was a black man. Shem and Isaac have 12 sons who are the 12 tribes of Israel. Brothers and sisters, we were listening to this as teenagers. Before YouTube, before social media, we knew the Most High was working amongst the youth for the awakening, and the enemy knew it. So how do we bring this into Puff Daddy and Cassie? Because everyone just wants us to look at the violence of Puff Daddy. And we're going to examine that too. I got everything here. They want us just to look at someone dragging someone through a hallway. And guess what? That's heinous behavior and is never acceptable. Let me make that clear. But we're going to break down Puff Daddy too. And those who create Puff Daddies. Because guys like Puff Daddy had no place in rap when we were growing up. Okay? It was fun. It was like one big cookout. The battles were even fun. Roxanne, Shantae. You had a rapper dressed up like a doctor. Okay? I mean, we're talking about Kwame with the polka dots. We had one nerd rapping, if I was a little bit taller, I would be a baller. Rapper's Delight, hip hop, hibbity hibbity hip hip a hop, whatever the case may be. It was all fun, cookout music, non-violent. Then KRS-One came with a little consciousness showing that, listen, we're the 12 tribes of Israel. The rappers got together and said self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. Big Daddy Kane and all the big rappers at that time. MC Lyte, where am I going? Tupac said what in 1992? Check out what Tupac said in 1992. I hope you're listening to this, Elder Lawya.
I say this word, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, we've been slighted and we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we're past that. But we need help. For us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like,
Listen to what Tupac was saying in 92. They're giving money to everyone except us. And if it wasn't for us, this country would have never reached the height of its glory. This was the mindset of my generation, brothers and sisters. I believe the generation I grew up in was a serious awakening in the spirit within our communities throughout the world. This guy isn't talking about he's not talking no madness. He's influencing through politics. He couldn't have been no older than 23 right here, talking like this, while the enemy on the outside is seething, wondering how can we stop this message of unity amongst these people, get on that same machine and turn it as a vehicle that can be used to destroy, kill, and imprison God's people. So it wasn't about the money, because they were making money when rap was fun. So don't try to claim it's just about the money. It must have been something more. Bill Clinton was the president around this time. Joe Biden was in position in the Senate to influence things at this time. So what happened? Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Let me pull Elder Lawya in. Hit the like button as y'all come on in here. Let me bring in Elder Lawya here. Hold on. Skype here. Here you go. Shalom, Elder Lawya.
Shalom, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, folks, A lot of what I'm saying was also conveyed to the generation under me. I'm not saying nothing that the youth under me didn't hear in some shape or fashion. Like, I know a lot of these stories, just grassroots, Lawya. You heard about a lot of what rap used to be growing up, right? And said, man, that's when it was fun. Based on what your mother told you, what your parents told you about the time we grew up, before crack came on the scene. Correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were raised on pretty much the same thing, from the era before us. In fact, a few eras before us leading up into our era, we were still kind of in the mix of that, what it was before it became what it became.
Well, I'm about to show when it changed. Crazy Bones from Bone Thugs and Harmony have a video. Now, they were deep because they were doing a cadence type of rap with singing before most knew what that was, and had a song out there that had all of us thinking of our mortality at that age, Elder Lawya. I'll meet you at the crossroads. So the reality of doing something in the earth, not realizing whether or not tomorrow is promised. And it even showed black angels guiding the youth or those that were dying after death. So these are the things we were talking about growing up. Spiritual, going to church. We had fun, but there was a consciousness towards the fear of God. And even when it came to rap, a lot of that particular morality and knowledge of God was intertwined within the art itself. But obviously the enemy had a problem with this because why? They could not control it. They can get paid off of it. But they had to switch it into what? They went into the mindset of market allocation. How can we use this to market our social engineering on this particular art form? And how can we use it politically to destroy these same people before Christ returns? Check out this interview. It's about 12 minutes. I'm gonna play it all the way through, and I want y'all to hear this, folks. When did it change? How are we sitting here with Cardi B, Sexy Red, Nas X? Who's responsible for this? And what is their end game? Fair use. And this goes right back to P. Diddy and Cassie. But I'm setting the table before we get to them. Because why? Folks, it's all connected. Fair use. For educational purposes only.
The secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. Damn. So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day.
Fair use.
So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
So we gonna tell a story.
we gonna tell the story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not just playing.
Look, that black man.
So look, so he says,
So he says he's going to leave out the names so to protect himself alive. He was invited. All the popular rappers of influence in 1991 were invited to to a corporate meeting. Obviously, they had a problem with the rap we grew up enjoying, right? So Bone Thugs and Harmony and all the high influential rappers were invited to a meeting. Okay. 1 second. Let me see something here. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay. Make sure there's no issue here. Right? So let's go here. 1991.
Between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting.
25 to 30 rappers were invited to the meetings. Many we all know.
As many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, G.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on 1 second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistol, no sweat.
For real though.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music.
Lawyer, I'm telling you right now, they don't want this to air tonight. I just used all of this equipment in the academy and nothing was wrong. Right now there's delays. The video isn't operating correctly. It's just weird. Hold on 1 second. I know what to do. Because I'm not gonna let them. No way. I gotta show this, Lawyer. 1 second. I gotta show this.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, do me a favor real quick.
Yes, sir.
I need you to set up another broadcast part 2.
Yes, sir.
Because right now this thing is, I've never seen it act like this before.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy.
Yeah, so I'm going to set up a different computer to see if that's the case. But
Currently wired in or wireless?
as far as what? The internet?
The internet, yes, sir.
Well, the internet, it's showing complete 5 bars, so I don't think it's the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
All right? If you think that's it, I can try something, but I doubt it.
Is your computer right now Windows or Mac?
Oh, I'm on the Mac.
Are you on a Mac? And do you have like some type of like a file sharing app, like OneDrive, things like that might be uploading data? Because those things will also slow things up too.
Nah, I don't have nothing happening. I have nothing happening. So,
Okay, I understand.
all right. So, do me a favor. I need you to put up part 2 right now.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to switch off and see what we can do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Shalom.
All right, shalom.
Hold tight, brothers and sisters.